Why would you do that?
We're in the endgame now.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Avengers 4. Yes, I know it's called Avengers Endgame, just Avengers 4 sounds a lot better. So this video is a very interesting video in my opinion because the Avengers 4 Endgame trailer has left everyone thinking that the end of the trailer confirms time travel is real. We went over a video a few days ago that could imply reasons how it could be time travel, but I've been saying for multiple weeks, if not months, of why there will be no time travel, real time travel throughout this movie. Just like I said, the movie wasn't going to be called Avengers 4 Annihilation, and guess what? I was right. But just like on this channel, we go over every single thing. So everyone is not always going to get everything right majority of the time. It's a channel, it's a discussion, we love to talk about theories. Now, this is a very interesting video. You'll know by the title what I'm on about, and it's got quite a good argument of why there's not really going to be time travel Back to Future style as we actually think there will be in this movie. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel or DC videos that we do week long. So we do have a competition for an Infinity War Blu-ray, Super Duper Deadpool 2 or Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I will be announcing the latest winner for that tomorrow. So let's go back to what screenwriter for the Avengers 4 had to say, Stephen McVeal. We know pretty much what's going on in Avengers 4. You've been told who the big bad guy is and what he wants for several movies. It's not going to change. That's what's going to happen. You run it in the best possible way, with twists along the way. But you have no idea what Avengers 4 is. No one does. And that's what makes this particularly exciting. I look all the time on the internet. People have no idea. Avengers 4 resolves the intrigue of Infinity War. The movies are clearly linked, but they are almost seem to belong to two different genres. We did not want to cut half of the movie and say, pay now, come back in a year for the rest of the story. These are two very different stories on a tonal and structural level, which is pretty awesome because absolutely everyone seems to think they know what's going to happen in Avengers 4 just because they think they know, just like they did Avengers Infinity War. No one actually thought they was going to do the finger snap at the end of the movie because the main trailer said he could erase everything with a snap of his finger. So people thought it was never going to happen. And then he went on to say this: it does not feel like you hit the pause button and then the unpause button. It is two very different stories as in movies. We look in a way that you would look at writers in comic books. People pick up different runs. They go with it. If there are things from the mythology that you are inspired by or you find relevant in, you go with it. If there are things in like the mythology that you want to see differently, then you explore ways to execute it differently. Avengers 4 will close out Marvel Phase 3, which is said to be the culmination of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe up until this point. Just 2 months after Avengers 4, Phase 4 kicks off, with Spider-Man Homecoming 2 arriving July the 5th, 2019, which was set directly in the aftermath of Avengers 4, and we know that Spider-Man is going to have PTSD in that movie from the effect of Avengers 4. But we're not going to know that until we actually watch the Spider-Man Far From Home movie, because obviously they're not going to show it in the trailer. And the reason it says Spider-Man Homecoming 2 is because this is a quote back from March. So that the movie wasn't titled then. So essentially what he is saying is, you've got no clue, no one's got no clue, time travel isn't confirmed, but it's cool to talk about all these conspiracy theories. We have to remember here, guys, the Russo brothers told us the closest thing to the title was Avengers Forever. Okay, Warstu, Avengers Forever. Then the title comes out and it's Avengers Endgame. Not Annihilation like every single person was telling you under the sun. And then there's stories saying, oh, but the title changed 3 times. It was Infinity Gauntlet. It was Avengers Endgame. It's was Avengers Annihilation? No. No one knows is that factually true. Unless you got a Disney rep officially come out and says, yeah, we were spinning with 3 different titles. From what I heard, Annihilation was the code secret name going in Disney, but that never confirmed that it was the actual movie. Just because they were calling Avengers 4 Annihilation in-house never actually came from inside Disney that the title was Annihilation, or else it would have came out. And to be honest, even though I wasn't that keen on the title Annihilation, I do prefer Annihilation to EndGame, because EndGame to finish phase 3 isn't very good. And then you have to remember the Russo brothers said it was never spoken in Avengers Infinity War. So when he goes, I had to, we're now in EndGame, or something along those lines. So everyone discontinued the Doctor Strange EndGame theory, which is the most likely theory now. We know because they've confirmed Doctor Strange 2 that Doctor Strange is going to be pivotal to the storyline. And obviously EndGame was also said during Age of Ultron by Tony Stark saying up there, that's EndGame. So you can't trust anything that anyone connected to the movie says, because obviously they're going to promote stuff, but they're not really going to tell you. So this idea comes from a Reddit user, Joe the Hamface. Yeah, I know. But it's essentially, it's saying that it might not necessarily be time travel. And I really don't want it to be time travel, because I don't want it to be a generic story. But like the screenwriter says, they might take inspiration or parts from one story and change it. And I think the Russo brothers are correct when they say this, and they're not lying to us. They don't want to tell a story that's already been told. So most people are thinking that this movie will be the penultimate part of Avengers Infinity Gauntlet, where Nebula is very pinnacle to taking out Thanos. Well, maybe that's going to be true. Maybe Nebula will be, but I don't think it's going to go down like that. But guys, let me know all your crazy theories down below. So let's go over this theory. I will link it in the description box down below so you can check it out yourself. It's very deep and very cool. So, much of the speculation of the post-Snap universe has been about if the dissolved people's fate. What if the Snap people killed none of them? It's possible. We've all been making up fun of Thanos fun theories by saying the death wasn't necessary with the near of the infinity power of the gauntlet. What if simply it split the reality into 2, half of everyone in each universe missing the other half but retaining the same resources? Now I can't find this theory anywhere else, so props to this dude. So, the multiverse. We know it's pinnacle already. We've been told. Everyone says the quantum realm is pinnacle. So, the 2 parallel realities could be joined by a sort of bridge in the quantum realm. Since Scott was in the quantum realm at the time of the split, he was unaffected by the snap and not bound to either reality, leaving him free to travel from one to the other over this bridge. Maybe this leaves him free to travel through the parallel dimension created by Thanos, snapping the time stream. He would be the only way for them to communicate with the other. Maybe he exists in both reality and gains knowledge from both due to some strange form of quantum entanglement as to why the snap potentially didn't affect it. So this is pretty cool. It's a really good, interesting theory, because realistically, from what we know, Doctor Strange set everything up and seen everything coming from his 14 million plus scenarios that he viewed. But Scott Lang was the only person that we currently know about that was inside the quantum realm that wasn't directly affected because he wasn't in the same universe that the finger snap happened in. So the quantum realm is another dimension in the Marvel comics. The quantum realm is like the microverse, is a parallel dimension that is only reachable through magic or sling rings or pin particles. Obviously, for I think it's copyright reasonings, they can't call it the microverse, I believe. Quote me down wrong if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they can't technically call it the microverse. The quantum realm, time works differently. A common theory is that he time traveled, but maybe he just got stuck in time, so the snap effects are delayed. The quantum realm is going to appear in Captain Marvel according to several sources. So in an interview with Inverse.com, there was an interview with the quantum physicist from the Ant-Man and Wasp movie, and he gave us some insight to just how influential the quantum realm would turn out to be in the future of Marvel films, particularly exploring the scope of Ant-Man's powers. he went on to briefly tease how the quantum realm will play a key part in the Captain Marvel movie, and it will give a better understanding of how Carol Danvers and her place in the MCU. So it's unclear where Carol Danvers, who is, I guess, half Kree and half Earth, I guess, like demon, I guess you could say. It's unclear where her powers come from. But based on the first trailer, you could say that she gets quantum energy from somewhere. So we know the quantum realm is going to play a pinnacle part in the MCU going forward. Even Michael Douglas, who plays Hank Pym, has also said that. So I think this theory is actually really interesting, how like there's one dimension with the supposed dead people, then the other one is the real reality. Is very, very interesting, and it could mean that he could travel to different parts of the universe without the traditional need for time travel. It went on to say this: I have a few other ideas on how this could affect EndGame. In one of the Marvel mobile games, whose premise is that two universes are colliding and that one must be destroyed to save the other. Maybe one dimension will need to cease to exist to prevent the end of everything. Maybe the two dimensions are entangled with each other and the Infinity Stones are scattered across two dimensions, meaning they will need to gather their respective stones in the same place. This would only be possible due to Scott's abilities, and this is why Scott Lang is going to be the most useful Avenger in this movie. But what's interesting is we're never going to know if Dr. Stephen Strange seen this, but it's a really interesting concept that there's two dimensions. Obviously we know there's a lot more than that. There's the dark dimension, there's so many other dimensions, but they're not being introduced, so we can't talk about like fan theories of other dimensions that haven't been introduced in the MCU. So it would be interesting if they needed to destroy the universe where the Dusted Avengers have actually been taken, or Dusted Heroes had been taken, in order to save Earth 1, I guess, okay, the main universe. Because I don't think anyone else has come up with this theory, and I honestly think this is a solid ass theory that is very good. So like I said, I will link the full description for this theory, the Reddit post down below. But like I said, guys, please take it with a pinch of salt. It is Reddit, but to be honest, some of the best theories come from Reddit, and a lot of factual evidence, a lot of factual stuff does come from Reddit, and it does turn out to be true. Just because they've misled us so many times. The title isn't EndGame. The closest thing is Avengers Forever. There's a lot of mislead in the first trailer. If you want to go over the misleading parts where Shuri is supposed to be dead, but they don't even know if Scott Lang's dead because they've not bothered to look for him. It appears, I guess they're looking for him in the footage at the end of the trailer, but Shuri was confirmed by Angelique Bassett to be alive. And then the first trailer comes out and she's on a screen. Maybe she's gone into hiding. So I really love this theory. I love the fact that it backs up my claim that it's going to be multiverse travel, because if it's another dimension, it will be multiverse travel. I don't believe they can like legally call it the microverse in this kind of Marvel world, I guess you could say, but parallel being the bridge, the quantum realm will prove to be a bridge between the parallel universes. Does sound amazing, because it's a bit odd how only Scott Lang was the only person not in that universe. He was in a different time. Obviously, in the quantum realm, time runs very differently. He was the only person that we know of. Why I'm saying that we know of is because we know there's a subatomic city inside the quantum realm, but we don't know anyone in there yet. So that's why I'm saying the only person we know of. So guys, let me know. Do you love this theory? Do you think it proves the fact that no, there won't be the conventional time travel how everyone seems to think there is? But this still backs up the theory that they're going to have to get some of the stones in order to defeat Thanos. So, you know, the time travel theories are absolutely everywhere. You can't go on YouTube, you can't go on any website, even Instagram, without saying time travel theory confirmed. Well, I think there will be a form of time travel, but we don't know if it's going to be the conventional time travel that everyone's referring to. I don't think it's going to be a quick like grab and run, because remember, Janet Van Dyne did warn Scott Lang about the time vortexes. Although Marvel have done misleading scenes before, I don't think they would do a throwaway line this important that was to do with the quantum realm in a post-credit scene, because they don't make up fake post-credit scenes. Because in the post-credit scene for Infinity War, Nick Fury messages Captain Marvel via pager. That's not a throwaway scene. Post-credit scenes are teasers for what's coming next. So it is a pretty cool scenario. What if the snap victims have just been sent to a different reality than everyone else in Avengers Endgame? It's very interesting because everyone thinks they're in the Soul world, but nothing's being confirmed by anyone. Personally, if I was you, I wouldn't actually take what the Russo brothers say as plain and clean because we can't trust Marvel. But that's such a cool thing that we can't trust them in a way, because it's telling us that we need to think for our own selves for once. Don't just listen to what an interview goes, like when Brie Larson's like, yeah, I can totally lift Thor's hammer, when realistically she doesn't know if she can lift it, because in order to lift the hammer you have to be worthy. Now whether she was on that Stormbreaker is a different story, so just don't trust what anyone says, any stars. Obviously they've got to be promoting it. Obviously if you believe what Mark Ruffalo said, and if you believe that Russo's, they've fired him essentially, but wait a minute, they actually haven't. So time travel, it just makes the most sense to set up the whole multiverse, but it might not. It needs to be all established around the quantum realm, so a bridge to an alternate reality, which could be pretty cool, because they've got to factually tell us how all these characters didn't die and let it make sense. Because if they turn to dust and realistically that's just their bodies transporting to another reality, then it makes sense. They could all be having pretty cool lives in a different reality. Most likely not. But I think it's going to be pretty cool to see the alternate reality. It has been like said on other plot leaks, but you got to take them with a pinch of salt, that there is a different reality where obviously Thor dies, where Captain America wields Mjolnir and stuff like that. So anyway guys, let me know what you think about this theory that there's no time travel, but there kind of is. It's more to do with alternate realities, which isn't time travel at all. It's like the multiverse within like the big 3-night crossover that the Flash, Arrow and Supergirl just had. It's just a multiverse, so people like Spider-Man, Nick Fury, we already know they're going to be alive in Phase 4. Doctor Strange, because they've announced other movies. Obviously Spider-Man, Nick Fury have all been seen shooting on their retrospective other movies that are coming out in Phase 4. So it's going to be pretty interesting. This video is a bit longer than normal, but there's a lot of material to go over to set the tone. So anyway guys, please like, subscribe and comment down below to actually enter the competition. You know, just comment anything down below, your favorite superhero or your favorite supervillain. Anyway guys, I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.